So here we are at the, this we call the funnel stand. This is a agricultural field and another major agricultural field north and south side of this big, it's a funnel hillside. This was a best laid plan that went awry. This really didn't work out. Not enough cover here. I thought it would because they traveled the creek bottom quite a bit. And it got picked off a couple times through last year, and all the foliage dropped. It was a pretty terrible idea. As you can see, it's plain open in the day. I've killed some good bucks out of here in the past with a bow and a gun, but the problem is access for everybody else. My dad, my buddy Steve, everybody. So I put a ladder here. I used to have a tree stand up behind me on this hill, and it worked well, but man, it was a pain to get into. So we did that, and a new addition this year is, you can see here's a pretty, it's a trail we've always had through this hillside. But there's a new food plot up here carved in the middle. So we're gonna move this to a tree up on top of the hill here in front of where my truck is. I got all trimmed out and cut out, and it's gonna be perfect for a west wind. You can shoot down the hill into this food plot, but this big travel corridor, the funnel stand, is a great spot. During the rut, I find sheds in this creek bottom year round, and it's gonna be a good place here. It's always loaded with scrapes and rubs. I got a couple apple trees that are growing in here. And it's just a natural pinch funnel corridor into it. It's got a big wood lot with a swamp over here to the west, and it goes into this giant 60-acre wood lot to the right, and this is the narrowest point between two agricultural fields. It's got woods and cover. So if they're going to travel through here, this is where they're going to be. So we'll get the stand moved. I'll show you where the new one's going and how it's set up. So here's the food plot. Walk down, low field, third field there. Food plots up here, high fields up top, past my buddy Steve there. It's maybe 150 yards, probably less than that, 100 yards across this whole pinch. Is thick stuff, comes all the way up here. Clover's starting to come a little bit better. I got a mineral right there, the camera, and then you go up to, boom, right in that tree. You can see up there, that's where the new Muddy Skybox is. It's all completely covered. A lot of cover around here. There's a main deer trail. Comes right here, runs along this fence line between. There's also another highway right behind it. Comes through here, but I'm gonna get up in here and I'll show you a bird's eye view of this whole stand. I'm sweating my ass off. It's hot out here today. We picked the coolest of the hot days to do this. So do a little tree trimming, but everything else it's pretty blocked in here pretty good. So this is gonna be a really good killing spot. During the rut, everything, this is just a natural travel corridor. But during the rut, this is where I get deer I've never seen. If I'm gonna get pictures of deer that I've never seen in my life anywhere near here, this is where I get pictures of them traveling. And if they show up, this is the first place I do, because they come from this swamp and thick woods behind me here. It's a pretty large, thick, cattail, marshy swamp. Creek bottom runs through here into my thick marshy woods that way, which is 60+ acres of thick swampy woods there. So they travel here cruising for does. It's right in between two ag fields. So in gun season, you can shoot them with a gun when they travel through here. You can sometimes shoot the fields. There's some openings, but this is a great bow hunt and ambush spot to catch them coming through. So it's an all-day spot, very good. Let me get up in the tree, I'll show you more. So we're set up in this stand now. The funnel stand, the new one. I just got climbed up here. If you look, it's you'll see down here, Steve's down on the food plot behind us, tucked into this this thick funnel draw. Mineral licks out there. There's trails that come in right here, run across there, and there's a really like when I was shed hunting this year, I found a couple decent sheds in here. They were old sheds. But this highway right here behind me, there is from west to east, it looks like a bike path. There's a deer trail that runs right here. And I can shoot with my bow 15 yards, 20 yards there, quartering away, depending on where they're coming. And we got food behind us. So this is going to be one of those spots. I think this is the best I've had it set up since we've owned this farm. We're gonna leave that one where it is. We started hinge cutting it. And I started hinge cutting the tree to get out of the way so I could see more of the food plot. And it just kind of fell out of the way, and I called it good enough. So we had the saw, we don't need it, but it's pretty cool. So from a hunter's perspective, if you look, There's a field, there's some trails here. Next thing you know, food plot, food plot, food plot. I can shoot all that. Coming down, so my truck was on a main trail. It's come running through here over the years, and there's a bunch of trails underneath. It's in a cluster of trees, this skybox is, and you can see the other field behind me. So directly behind me, it's thick, but it's probably 60 yards. Go here, it's all thick, runs through the woods. Down there is probably 80 yards to that other field down there. And then we opened this up, planted clover. I fertilized really hard. All I did was clover in here because the soil has never been worked. It doesn't get a ton of sun, clearly, for like if you were going to put brassicas or something in here. So I put white ladino, this jumbo ladino clover in here, and it's starting to come up decent. I probably have to top seed, frost seed in the fall, but it's enough. I'm already getting pictures of deer eating on it, so it's a nice little stop on their travel route. But I did put a ton of 12-12-12 in the soil, and I rounded it off, put a ton of 12-12-12 after that, after I plowed it all, and then planted this clover. It was like in the spring, and it's starting to come up, but I mean, it's, you don't have a lot of nutrients. It's going to take some time, but this is one of my favorite. I also got a few nice apple trees planted in here. I got 2 or 3 big apple trees that are growing up. We had, at one point, an apple orchard planted on this hillside. Was naturally open. I didn't cut any trees or anything to put it in, and I had like 20 apple trees planted here. They paid a lot of money for them, and we had a terrible drought. Tried watering them, and it killed every one of them. So I only got a few left, but you give it probably 2 or 3 more years and they'll be fruiting. So this is the funnel stand. We're all set up, ready for deer season. Now it's just keeping an eye on the minerals. Might put we can bait in Michigan, so I might put some corn out, try to get them in there, but I will not put corn out until this stuff is high enough where they can browse it. So we'll do that during season. You can use, there's a limit. I'll have to check. I can't remember what it is. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But this is just a natural travel spot anyway. So next we're moving to the front swamp. I got a new stand and a new food plot that went in up here, and this one is going to be brassicas, everything else, but that's the next stop. So we'll be there in a minute.